Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 2nd October 2019 and the topics for discussion are Electoral Bond Scheme, Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme, National Disaster Response Force, that is NDRF, Prayatan Parv, the National Mineral Policy of 2019, Current Affairs Capsules, Map Aided Program and Previous Year Question Revision Series. Coming to the first topic, which is Electoral Bond Scheme. Now this is in news because the government announced an issuance of 12th tranche of the electoral bond that could be used to make donations to political parties. Now the government has notified the electoral bond scheme in January of 2018. Now we'll come to the question of what is an electoral bond. Now an electoral bond is designed to be a bearer instrument like a promissory note. It will be similar to a bank note that is payable to the bearer on demand and free of interest. Coming to the question of who can buy this. Now the electoral bond may be purchased by an Indian citizen or a company incorporated or established in India. A person being an individual can buy electoral bonds either singly or jointly with other individuals. Coming to the eligibility factor. Now, those people that are registered political parties under the section of 29A of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951 and those political parties that have secured not less than 1% of votes polled in the former election of Lok Sabha or Legislative Assembly will be eligible to receive the electoral bonds. Now, the political parties are allotted a verified account by the Election Commission of India and all the electoral bonds transactions are done through this account only. Now, the donors can buy these electoral bonds and transfer them into the accounts of political parties as a donation. Now, coming to the question of where is this issued by? Now, the State Bank of India, that is SBI, is the only authorized bank to issue electoral bonds. Keep this point in mind because if it comes in the prelims as to there are two or more, if for example, if they say there is SBI and let's say Canara Bank is also allowed to authorize electoral bonds, that is a wrong statement because in India only SBI is authorized to give electoral bonds. Coming to the next point, which is it is issued on a multiples of values of rupees 1000, rupees 10,000, rupees 1 lakh and rupees 10 lakh and then finally to 1 crore. Now the bonds will be available for purchase for a period of 10 days each in the beginning of every quarter. Now that's in January, April, July and October, and as this is specified by the central government. An additional period of 30 days shall be specified by the central government in the year of the Lok Sabha elections. Coming to the validity, the electoral bond shall be valid for 15 calendar days from the date of issue and no payment shall be made to any payee political party if the electoral bond is deposited after expiry of the validity period. So understand here the validity is only 15 days and clearly it is being mentioned that it is only 15 calendar days. Is nothing like 15 working days or including Saturday or Sunday, things like that. 15 calendar days. So total only 15 days. Now coming to the next point, which is the electoral bonds deposited by an eligible political party in its account shall be credited on the same day. So credit also will be happening right on the same day once the deposit has been made. Coming to the next topic, which is the sovereign gold bond scheme. Now this is in news because the government of India, in consultation with the Reserve Bank of India, has decided to issue the sovereign gold bonds. Now coming to this scheme, the sovereign gold bonds are government securities or bonds denominated in fixed gram of gold. Now the sovereign gold bonds are issued by the Reserve Bank of India on the behalf of the government of India. Now the bonds are sold through scheduled commercial banks except for small financial banks and payment banks. After that there is Stock Holding Corporation of India and designated post offices and recognized stock exchanges. Now these can be the National Stock Exchange of India and the Bombay Stock Exchange of India. Okay. Coming to the features of the bond, we'll talk about the eligibility first. Now the bonds will be restricted for sale to resident individuals, HUFs, trust, universities and charitable institutions. Coming to the denominations, the bonds will be denominated in the multiples of grams of gold with a basic unit of 1 gram. Now the tenor of the bond will be for a period of 8 years with exit option after the 5th year to be exercised on the interest payment dates. Now the minimum permissible investment will be of 1 gram of gold. So minimum gold you can invest is of 1 gram, and the maximum limit for subscription shall be of 4 kgs for an individual. So 4 kgs for an individual, 4 kgs for an HUF, 20 kgs for a trust and similar entities as per the fiscal of April to March. Now this all shall be notified by the Government of India from time to time. Coming to the joint holder, in case of joint holding, the investment limit of 4 kg will be applied to the first applicant only. Now the investors will be compensated at a fixed rate of 2.50% per annum, payable semi-annually on the nominal value. Coming to the payment, now the payment for the bonds will be through cash payment only, and this will be up to a maximum of 20,000 or demand draft or check or electronic banking. Coming to the next topic, which is National Disaster Response Force. Now this is in news because the relief has taken place on a war footing in the rain-battered Bihar region. Now the NDRF, that is the National Disaster Response Force, it is a specialized force constituted for the purpose of specialist response to a threatening disaster situation or disaster under the Disaster Management Act of 2005. It functions under the Union Ministry of Home Affairs and it works under the National Disaster Management Authority, that is NDMA, and it lays down the policies, plans and guidelines for disaster management. Its headquarters is located in New Delhi and it is mandated to undertake special disaster response, relief, rescue operations and combat roles independently in the case of an event of any disaster, which can be natural or man-made, accident regions also, or emergency situations also. Now it also assists the local authorities in launching a quick rescue and response operation to save life and property. Coming to the composition, at present the National Disaster Response Force consists of 12 battalions. Now 3 each from the BSF and CRPF and 2 each from the CISF, ITBP and the SSB. All the 12 battalions have been equipped and trained to respond to natural as well as man-made disasters. And the battalions have also been trained and equipped for to be responsible during chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear emergencies. Coming to the next topic, which is Prayatan Parv. Now this is a news because the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Minister of Steel has inaugurated the nationwide Prayatan Parv of 2019. Now basically it is an organized, this is organized by the Ministry of Tourism. Keep that in mind, it is organized by the Ministry of Tourism. The idea of Prayatan Parv is to propagate the message of Dekho Apna Desh, look at our nation, with the objective to encourage Indians to visit various tourist destinations of the country and also to spread the message of tourism for all. So understand, Prayatan Parv is propagating the idea of Dekho Apna Desh, come see my land or come see my country, and also propagating the idea of tourism which is open to all. Then we'll come to Prayatan Parv 2019 is dedicated to the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Understand, today is October 2nd and it's a birth anniversary of our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Now there are 3 components under the Prayatan Parv. The first one is Dekho Apna Desh. Now this is to encourage the Indians to visit their own country. In the run-up to the Parv, several activities have been organized across the country, like photography contest, tourism-related quiz, essay, debate and painting competitions for students. Now the general public engagement for the event will be promoted through the MyGov or MyGov platform. The second component is tourism for all. Now in this, tourism events and at sites across all states in the country are being organized. Coming to the third component, which is the tourism and governance. Now interactive sessions and workshop with stakeholders on various themes have been organized across the country as a part of the Prayatan Parv activities. Coming to the next topic, which is the National Mineral Policy of 2019. Now this is in news because in a step towards ensuring raw material security and seamless renewal of mining leases allocated to the government companies, the Ministry of Mines has amended the Mineral Mining by Government Companies Rule of 2015. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about this. Now, as per the amendment, the mining entity must give application for renewal to the government at least 12 months prior to the expiry of the mining lease. Now, this shall extend the period of the lease for a further period of up to 20 years at a time. Now, the recent orders passed by the Ministry of Mines are important steps towards ensuring raw material security for Indian steel industry and price stabilization of the raw materials. Now, coming to the National Mineral Policy of 2019. Now, this policy replaces the extant policy, National Mineral Policy of 2008. Now, it encourages the private sector to take up exploration on a revenue sharing model. Now, provisions of merger and acquisition of the mining entities and transfer of mining leases and creation of dedicated mineral corridors. Now, the provisions for e-governance, IT-enabled system, awareness and information campaigns have been incorporated for regulation. It also mentions that long-term import-export policy for minerals will help private sector in better planning and stability in business. Now, the policy mentions to make effort to harmonize taxes, levies and royalty with world benchmarks to help private sector. Coming to the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act of 1957. Now, the Mines and Minerals Act of 1957 is the Act of Parliament of India enacted to regulate the mining sector in the country. It was amended in 2015 and 2016. This act forms the basic framework of mining regulation in India. It details the process and conditions for acquiring a mining or prospecting license in India, and this act is applicable to all minerals except coal, minor minerals and atomic minerals. Coming to our current affairs capsules. Now, the first topic under the current affairs capsule is the Gandhian challenge. Now, on the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, the AIM, Niti Aayog's Atal Tinkering Labs and UNICEF India has launched the Gandhian challenge. Now, it provides a platform for every child across the country to present innovative solutions for a sustainable India of their dreams using Gandhian principles. Now, the second news under this is the initial public offering. Now, an initial public offering refers to the process of offering fresh issue of securities or a sale of its existing securities or both for the first time of an unlisted company to the public in a new stock issuance. Now, public shares issuance allows a company to raise capital from the public investors. Now, the third current affairs capsule is about the consumer app by the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Now, the app aims to provide a one-stop solution for consumer grievances redressal at a palm of every consumer across the nation via mobile phones. Now, consumers will now be able to lodge complaints, grievances directly through this app, which then will be taken up by the companies for quick redressal. Coming to the map aided program, today we'll be talking about the Manas Tiger Reserve. Now, here we'll talk about it. Now, the Manas Tiger Reserve, also known as a Manas National Park, is a UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site, an elephant site and also a biosphere reserve. Now, it is located in Assam, India. Now, the Manas Tiger Reserve is actually located in the Himalayan foothills and is a contiguous zone with the Royal Manas National Park of Bhutan. So, it's a continuous zone and the other part of it is located in Bhutan, and that region is called the Royal Manas National Park. Now, the name of this Tiger Reserve or the National Park actually comes from the river flowing through it, which is the Manas River, and understand Manas is actually a tributary of Brahmaputra. Coming to the previous year question revision series, I'll read out the question. Now, building Kalyana Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of A. Chalukya, B. Chandela, C. Rashtrakuta, and finally D. Vijayanagara. Now, if you have read your history, art and culture a little bit, I think this is a very easy question to tackle. And the answer for this question would be, option number D, which is Vijayanagara. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any doubts or queries, you can write down in the comment section below. Thank you.